This is topic 8-2, interpreting changes in slope and intercepts. Our objective for today is I can write equations of lines given perimeter changes. So our central question is, how can I write equations of lines given perimeter changes? The parameter changes that we're dealing with are the changes to the slope and the y-intercept. First, let's review. We need to figure out how to get the equation of the line when you're given a graph. So we must start with, where does it begin? It begins where it crosses the y-axis. So our beginning is the y-intercept. This is crossing the y-axis at a positive 2, or the point 0.02. The slope, then we determine how does this point change on the line? How does it move along the line? So when we're talking about the slope, we want to deal with the rise over the run. Since this is a positive slope, we know the rise is going up, and we always run to the right. So picking 2 points, let's start with the y-intercept. I will rise up 1, 2, 3, and then we will run 1, 2, 3 in order to get to the point. So 3 over 3 is 1. Our equation, we are going to use y equals mx plus b, which is our slope-intercept form. So we get y equals, the slope is 1, and the intercept is positive 2. Before we continue, we're going to review some slope problems again to ensure that you can figure out the slope and the y-intercept either from an equation or from a graph. You may skip this part, or you may write it down on a sheet of paper and then check your answer as we go along. So first, I want you to find what is the rate of change on the line with the equation y equals negative 2x plus 5. You need to remember that the rate of change is another way of saying slope. So if we're looking for the slope, we'll write y equals mx plus b. Our slope is the m, or the number in front of the x, and so our correct answer is D. The rate of change is negative 2. Number 2, find the y-intercept on the line, whose equation is y equals x plus 2. So to find the y-intercept, again, we're going to write y equals mx plus b. Our y-intercept is our b, or where it begins, and so C, or 2, is our correct answer. Which equation describes the line that has a slope of 5 and a y-intercept of negative 3? So our slope is equal to 5. Our y-intercept is a negative 3. When we write our equation, y equals mx plus b, this will be in the form y equals 5x minus 3. As I look at my problems or my answer choices, I do not see an answer choice that looks exactly like this one, so I'm going to first look to find which answer choices have a 5 and an x together. A has a 3x, that's not it. B has a 3x, that's not it. So we'll look at C, has a 5x and a 5x. Next, we'll check to see which one has a negative 3. C has the negative 3, so C is our correct answer. Number 4, which graph has a positive slope? Remember, slope tells us the steepness, or whether or not it's increasing or decreasing. A positive slope means it's increasing. So reading left to right, we see that A is increasing, going in upward direction. A has the positive slope. Which graph has a negative y-intercept? Negative y-intercept. We're looking for the y-intercept, so we're looking for where does it cross the y-axis, and I'm looking for where it crosses the y-axis being negative. So if I start at my origin, go up my y-axis to my point, I had to go up, and so this is a positive y-intercept. It's actually at positive 3. If I look at the second one, start at the origin, go down till I meet my line. This one I went down, so that's a negative y-intercept, and the y-intercept's at negative 4. So B has the negative y-intercept. Okay. let's move on to our topic for today. Our examples are very similar to yesterday, except now we're given a graph instead of an equation. So from our graph, we need to figure out what our original line is and then come up with our new one. So first, let's start off with the original line. If I look at my original line, you'll see it on both sides. It begins at a positive 1. So I'm starting going up positive 1. So my b is a positive 1. Next, we need to figure out what the slope is. We can pick any 2 points on the line and figure out how it changes. First of all, we'll see that the slope is positive because it is a line that's increasing. And then it rises up 1, 2, and goes to the right 1. So since it's positive, we rose up and then we went to the right. So our slope is equal to 2. We're going to plug this in to the y equals mx plus b form. So our m was 2 and our b was 1. Now that we know our original line, we can now change the parameters. So now if the slope of the line below is doubled means we're going to multiply it by 2. And the y-intercept is decreased by 4. What is the new? So the slope is doubled. Here's my original slope. 2 times 2 gives me 4. And the y-intercept, which was originally 1, is now decreased by 4, so that's subtracting. That gives us a negative 3 as our y-intercept. So now we can graph that line to see what it looks like. Our beginning's at negative 3, so we'll start off on the y-axis at negative 3. Our slope is 4, so I'll make this look like a fraction, put it 4 over 1. Our top number tells us how far to go up. Bottom number tells us how far to go to the right. So we'll go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. Up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. I can go down 4, to the left 1, and continue the pattern to get my point below. And now we will graph our line. Notice that this new line is steeper than the original. One way that we can tell it's steeper is that the new line has a slope of 4. The old line has a slope of 2. So since the new line has a bigger slope, then the line will be steeper, meaning more vertical or going more up and down. Problem number 2. If we increase the slope by 2 and times the y-intercept by 3, what's the new equation? Well, first we need to know what the original equation is. So let's start at our beginning. We're beginning at negative 2. And our slope, I'll pick any 2 points. And we'll go up 2 and then to the right 2. Again, we know that it is positive because it's an increasing line. And so we're going up and to the right. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So our original slope is 1. Now our new slope, we want to increase the slope by 2. So we'll take our original, increase it by 2. That gives us 3. And we want to times the y-intercept by 3. So the y-intercept was negative 2 multiplied by 3. We get a negative 6. So our new equation, we're going to start off at negative 6. And our new slope is positive 3. So let's make it look like a fraction by putting it over 1. Top number tells us how far to go up. Bottom number how far to go to the right. So we're going to go up 3 to the right 1. 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 Continue with that pattern. As we draw a line, we can see that the new line is more steep than the original. Which again, this makes sense because our new slope is 3 and our original slope, or old slope, was 1. So the new slope being bigger, 3, is going to make the line more steep. Example 3, if you take half the slope and decrease by the y-intercept by 1 of the line 2x plus 4y equals 8, what would be your new equation? First thing we need to do is figure out our original equation. And in order to figure it out, we need to get this equation in the form of y equals. We need a form of y equals blank x plus blank. Let's box in our 4y because our goal is to get the y by itself. So the 8, nothing is happening with the 8 because it's already on the same side of the equal side, so it's just going to drop down, and it'll drop down to the blank that doesn't have the x. We need to get rid of the 2x, so think I'm doing the opposite of what's over here, so I'm subtracting 2x. That means I'm going to subtract 2x on the other side. That's where we get, if you cross the line, you change the sign. So the 2x is gone. Last, we are left with the 4. The 4 is inside the box with the y being multiplied by y. Opposite multiplication is division, so we have to divide everything by the 4. Now we have to simplify our fractions. Y equals the negative 2 over 4. If you use your calculator, can simplify to negative 1/2. And an 8 plus 4 simplifies to 2. So in our original problem, then our slope is a negative 1/2, and our y-intercept is 2. So now it says take half of the slope. If I take half of the slope, that means I'm going to multiply it by half. Think if I had a whole number, if the slope was 10 and I wanted half, I could take 10 and multiply it by half. That would give me 5. This I'm going to multiply. This will give us a negative 1/4. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. I would put it in the calculator just to be sure. The slope, we're going to decrease the y-intercept. We're decreasing the y-intercept by 1. So my original was 2. We decrease it by 1. It is now a 1. So our new equation is y equals a negative 1/4 x plus 1. Let's take a look at these two so we can see what it looks like. On our calculator, if we go to y equals, we can put both of these equations in order to see what the graph looks like. So we have a negative 1/2 x plus 2. Press enter, and then we'll do a negative 1/4. Notice how I'm putting the fractions in parentheses. 1/4 x plus 1. When you're graphing two lines, when you hit the graph button, the first line we typed in, y1, will plot first, and then y2. So y1, you see, has a negative slope. It's going down. y2 is also going down. Okay, so now we can get a picture of what these two graphs look like. They both have a negative slope, and so they're both going down. But you'll see our second one is a little bit lower than the first one, which kind of makes sense because the slope of our original was a negative 1/2, and the slope of our new is a negative 1/4. 1/4 is smaller than the 1/2, so it's going to be below. Okay, number 4. If you keep the slope the same and translate the line up 3, what is the new equation? So first we need to figure out what is the slope of this line, because the slope is going to stay the same. So choose any 2 points, and we'll see. First it is negative because it's going down. So 1, 2, it's negative 2, and to the right 1. So our slope is negative 2. Every single one of our possible choices has a negative 2 as an answer. So the slope stays the same, but now the line is translated up 3. When we translate, we're going to look at the y-intercept. So I'm going to go on my other graph, the y-intercept, we're going to translate up 3. 1, 2, 3. Our new y-intercept is at 4. So our new equation then is going to be y equals negative 2x plus 4. That correct answer is B. B is the only one that has a positive 4 as a y-intercept. All right, so to summarize what we did, the summary's on the front of the page. We first must start with our original equation. We need to know what our original equation is. So that means we need to know the m and the b. Next, we'll make our changes. Make our changes to m and b, and we will write the new equation. Last, an observation is that the line that has the larger slope is steeper. So the larger slope has the steeper line. This concludes topic 8-2.